It is a pleasure again to be in front of you on methodology in English language teaching. And with that same pleasure we started, it is a pleasure to me to conclude today our last unit or our last session in methodology in English language. I am Kirya Ahmed Nasr, English Academic Program, English Language Department. Well, last time we stopped at the necessity of supplementation of the syllabus. We said that the syllabus is not enough. Not a single book in a syllabus is enough. It needs to be decorated with other books, with other academic topics, academic papers. So the necessity of the supplementation lies in the benefit of the learners. First of all, the learners are of different abilities and capabilities, so they need well assorted and different material to study and to relish. This one thing. The other thing is that the vocabulary used in supplementary material might be not in the syllabus, so it enriches their vocabulary and grammatical structures. They find really new grammatical structures in supplementation, and likewise they find a number of good different vocabulary items. So they need it. It need to be. Again, it breaks the routine of the book. The book might be following a certain sequence, so the supplementation could make the routine easy. It breaks the routine of the syllabus. Also, it gives varieties of substantive material. They find material that is new for the learners and they relish it, and it comes with their test. So in supplementation, the learners will find their taste in this supplementary material. Again, also it maintains a balance. It maintains a balance to the syllabus. The syllabus might be a little bit creaky or weak, so the supplementary material adds to it and consolidates it to a degree or a state, and again it recycles the vocabulary. Also, it maintains the balance between skills and sub-skills. Usually the supplementation material lies in books, so books can be read differently, and there are different kinds of reading. We have scanning. In scanning, the learner reads for a single piece of information. So when we make a supplementary material, try usually to make pre-questions to focus on this purpose of reading. Again, we have skimming. In skimming, the reader, of course, is reading for the gist, the general idea, the global idea about the book or the material being read. So try also to devise pre and comprehension questions to test these aims or the general idea about the topic. Again, we have extensive reading and intensive reading. Intensive reading is a longer kind of reading, but is done inside the classroom or asked to be done at home and to be checked inside the classroom the following classes. While extensive reading, actually the purpose of extensive reading is reading for pleasure, like taking a literature book and read it in serial chapters. Every day you read a portion, a number of chapters, and then you come to discuss this inside the classroom or you discuss it with your friend. It's kind of free reading. It's kind of free reading. So these kind of books or kind of reading must make a good supplementary material inside the classroom, and enhance the syllabus, and it strengthens the syllabus to an extent. Well, we come to the last point in our presentation or in this series, which is the presentation of grammatical items and practicing and presenting also vocabulary item. So some steps and techniques for presentation. First, for presenting and practicing new grammatical items, Last time we touched upon how to present grammar, but not in depth. So in presenting grammar, you should pre-teach the vocabulary, the difficult vocabulary that makes the grammar itself difficult to explain the grammar. So after pre-teaching the vocabulary used in a context or structure of grammar, then you try to emphasize and highlight the grammatical item being taught. Either you write it in different color, or you write it in bold, or with this new technology you can make it in hazard. Yes, in your plasma or your screen, you can make the grammatical item blink and wink in hazard to focus or to direct attention to the grammatical item. You may follow these steps to present the grammar. Use the new grammatical structure in context. This is number one. First, you use it in context. Don't use it in isolation. Don't isolate the grammatical item, but put it in a context. Put it in a sentence, meaningful sentence, or a dialogue, for example, or put it in conversation. These are three different methods for presenting a grammatical structure. Either you put it in a context, a well-woven context, a well-strung sentence not to be ambiguous in any way, or a dialogue, very clear. The exchanges of the dialogue must make it clear, but bear in mind that you must highlight the grammatical structure itself. 2. Repeat the new pattern several times. This new grammatical, try to repeat it several times until it sticks in their heads, to emphasize it, to recycle it for the purpose of emphasis. Then have it repeated by the pupils in groups. So here comes the role of chorusing, either individually or in groups. So in groups, make the pupils repeat the grammatical item until it sticks or until they learn it or acquire it fully. 3. Write the new pattern on the board. You see, use it in context verbally and then repeat it, yes, for the purpose of recognizing it is pronunciation, correct pronunciation, and the well-connected speech, and then have it repeated by the learners. They repeat it in groups, individual chorusing and group chorusing or the class chorusing. Then turn to the board and write the new pattern, yes, in a beautiful handwriting. I mean by beautiful handwriting, well correct constructed writing. Every letter in its place and it is full and correct shape. This is what is meant by writing the new structure on the board. 4. Give the pupils some drills to help them learn the forms of the new pattern. So you must make drills and exercises. Usually drills tend to be short and orally, while exercises usually has a connotation of being long and written. So you must give some drills to help them learn the form of the structure, the shape of the structure, the grammatical structure. This is step 4 for presenting grammar. Yes, as soon as the pupils seem to learn the pattern, mechanical drills should be abundant. What is meant by mechanical drills? Mechanical drills that don't, yes, make the learners add cognitive skills in writing this exercise or drill. They do it mechanically without thinking. So as soon as the pupils seem to have learned the pattern of the grammar, the grammatical structure, so the mechanical drills should be abundant. You should leave them. Move to something deeper. Move a step further to make control exercises. Control is still under the bond of the teacher. He could give them prompts, hints, and then they make the drill, answer the drill. They must think to add something to the exercise or drill. So mechanical drills are no longer to be used when they master or seem to be mastering the structure. When the teacher feels that the pupils have grasped the new structure and give them some communicative practice, then he moves to something deeper. This is all what is about presenting grammar or grammatical structure. Yes, to repeat these steps just in a hurry, the teacher, first of all, must put it in a context, say it in a context. Then comes the stage of pinpointing or highlighting the grammatical structure. As I said, you can write it in different color or a hazard blinking and winking if you use electronic board, and then make the learners repeat it until it fixes in their mind, and then give some drills and exercises on the grammatical structure. Well, second, how to present and practice vocabulary. Well, last time also we harped or we screened some points concerning presenting vocabulary in our previous lectures. Is that vocabulary, in presenting a vocabulary item, first of all, we don't have to present and teach and pre-teach all vocabulary items. We should divide vocabulary item into two major classes: active vocabulary and static vocabulary. So some vocabularies are important to present and some are not necessary to present. So in presenting vocabulary, the active vocabulary, we have to pronounce the word, give the sound of the word. For example, I am teaching November. I have to say November, November, November 3 times until the learner got what I am saying. And then you turn to the board and write it. Then comes the shape of the word. So sound, shape, and then you come and explain the meaning. If you have an object to explain the meaning, you could associate it with the sound. The same time you're saying the sound of the word, you can make it. Or if you have a picture, for example, saying tree, you can screen the picture of a tree to explain its meaning, and then turn to the board and write the meaning and write the word, the shape of the word on the board. So this is presenting the sound and shape of the word on the board. This should be in sequence as the teacher likes. But they should be sound, shape, and meaning. Sound, shape, and meaning in this sequence. Then there are 10 best vocabulary tips to follow in presenting vocabulary or in practicing vocabulary. After you teach the vocabulary item, you have to consolidate it, you have to recycle it until it fixes. One linguist, methodologist, says that a word should be taught or repeated 15 times to become part of your constant vocabulary. So that is why the teachers in the classroom make a heavy, quick chorusing. Book, 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 book. They repeat the word so many times. Yes, in a try to reach 15 times, yes, for fixing the word in the minds of his students. So these 10 tips could be helpful for remembering and acquiring vocabulary. Number 1, read, read, read. Most of the vocabulary words are learned from context. So this point, emphasizing, encouraging the necessity of reading outside. You have to do outside reading to reach your vocabulary, to fix your vocabulary, to recycle your vocabulary. So reading with this emphasis of repetition is just to learn a word from a context. This doesn't need a teacher to teach you vocabulary. You pick it from the context. 2, improve your context skills. Improve your context skills. Yes, we see which comes first. The English sentence goes like that. Subject, verb, object. It is an SVO language. This is a pattern of English. Subject, verb, object. So you should improve your context skills. You see which comes before which. The inversion of words which comes before, okay? So we have to learn the context or the skills of the context. 3, practice, practice, practice. Learning a word won't help very much if you promptly forget it. So the purpose of practicing the vocabulary item is to recycle it, to use it in situations that could make it memorable to the learner. So this is the importance of practicing. Practice, they say in a slogan, practice makes perfect. So we have to practice our learning skills, particularly word. So we need to practice the word. We need to repeat the word every now and then. Number 4, make up many association and connections as possible. Association, what? The words that follow each other, they are in association. When we say a wide range, usually range comes with wide. A wide range, in a wide range. So this word usually associated together. They follow each other. They have a QU habit. So we need to make association and connections. When we say a word, you should remember another word. This is step number 4. Number 5, use mnemonics. Mnemonics. M-N-E-M-O-N-I-C-S. Mnemonics mean memory trick. We should use things to make a word memorable to us. For example, we have the word egregious. Egregious, which means extremely bad. How do I remember this word? It is very difficult to pronounce at first sight or at first time. Egregious. So you can make a trick to remember it. Make it egregious. You break it in this pattern. You should produce words from this word. Egregious, which means extremely bad, can be cut into these words. Egregious. Because yes, egg may go bad. Eggs may go bad. You remember it with the word extremely bad. So make mnemonics. Like for example, chanting the month of the year. We say every month has all months has 30 days except February alone that had 28. All the rest have 30 days in November, April, June, and December. All the rest have 31 except February alone that has got 28 once in 4. These are the months of the year set in this order to be very memorable. This is what is meant by mnemonics. Mnemonics. All months have 30 days. 30 days in November, April, June, and September. All the rest have 31 except February alone that has got 28 once in 4. This is a mnemonics. Makes it memorable to chant and repeat the month of the year. 6. Get in the habit of looking up words you don't know. This is a good habit, yes. Although it is a dictionary habit, yes. Stick to your dictionary. Check up the pronunciation of the word. Check up its associations. Check up what comes before and after. Check up the derivatives of the word itself. So get in this habit. This is a skill on its own. Checking words or checking up or looking up words on dictionaries. So get in this habit. 7. Play with words. Play with words. Scramble, Boggle, and crossword puzzle. So play with words. You play with words. We make games. Yeah. Scramble, Boggle, crosswords. There are so many exercises concerning words. You can make word hills. You put a word, you can make a competition between two to choose a word that starts with one letter, like A, the indefinite article A, and then move downwards to make it with two letters, like as, and move downwards to make it with three letters until you reach the limit you have to make. You make a word, for example, consisted of 10 letters. So you can make a competition to build words. We have bank words. You write the words on pieces of papers and then you make it with the elastic bands like money, and then you come every day and read the words like counting your money. So there are innumerable exercises concerning words and the practice of words. But the most famous ones are Scrabble, Boggle, and crossword puzzle. 8. Use vocabulary list. Also you can make vocabulary list. Now in the internet, following the Headway series, it makes a diary and a list for vocabulary. You can make your learning vocabulary or practicing vocabulary list from this page on the net. 9. You can make vocabulary test. There are also a lot of vocabulary tests, a lot of kind of vocabulary tests. You test your vocabulary every now and then. You check. And then also it could be a signaler for the learners, yes, to concentrate on vocabulary items. So you should check and test your vocabulary every now and then. Get excited about words. Yes, feel happy about words. Use them. Repeat them within yourself or inside yourself. Take them in your head wherever you go. Repeat them, use them, exchange them with friends. Also you can make group discussions. Together with this group, you can discuss the vocabulary that you have learned within a week, within 2 weeks. You make the limit yourself with your groups. Well, this is all we can say about grammar and vocabulary in this session. Reaching this end, we finished our first book, Methodology in English Language 1, and hopefully that we may start very soon Methodology in English Language 2, which is sequel to this book. I have to go with this quick revision to remember you just with what we have discussed in this book. First of all, our first topic, lesson planning, and then we come how to teach the skills, the importance of visual aids in emphasizing and illustrating the material, and how to present vocabulary, and how to present grammar, and how to correct our written work, the importance of correcting errors. How do we go about correcting errors? And then supplementing the syllabus or the book, the academic book in the class, both the teacher's book and the pupil book should be supplemented and should be used efficiently. And we come to that very essential point is that teachers are facilitators and not dictators to put their philosophy and policy on the learners. They lead them. It is easy to lead the horse to the place of water, but it is not easy to make it drink. Thank you very much. I hope we might meet again in Methodology in English Language 2, which is the theoretical part and theories in teaching English language. Thank you very much.